Alright guys, Doug Lane here, Fast Lane Car Care. I want to do a video. I want to explain in detail double cutting, how it works. I feel like I've done this before, but I've gotten some comments where people are like not understood what's going on here. You know, thinking that I've used like 2 layers of tint on one window or whatever. So here I'm just going to measure from my mirror basically to the edge of this door. It's just going to be 32. If we follow this line straight up, that's going to put us like right about here. I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a little more room and go like 33 and some change. So there's our mark. Also, for anybody that cares, this is a Range Rover Evoque or something like that. It's a 2019. Okay, so we got our film cut off. Alright, check this out. We can tell by the way the film's wanting to curl. This is the way we'd want to lay it on the glass, right? You guys that are experienced, just bear with me. This video probably isn't going to be for you. Okay, so we're lined up pretty well. There. Let's go ahead and just kind of mount it in place so it doesn't try to slide around on us too much. Alright, let's go ahead and cut our trash off here. Let's see if we can't do it without poking anything. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna show you. So check this out. This part here is going to get cut off, but if you can see that right there, here's our tinted part, here's our release liner, this is our glue, this is sticky side right here, it's facing us. So this window pattern here is going to be for this window, this driver's side window, okay? But I don't want to cut these out one at a time, so I'm going to show you what we do. Come over here, we're going to get another piece of film. Okay. So we know with this film, our release liner's up. You see how it wants to curl? If we wanted to cut out this side, this is the way we would do it. Does that make sense? The sticky side is facing us. And check this out. We're going to flip it around backwards. Okay? We're going to put the sticky side facing the passenger side of the car, the inside of the car. See how it's wanting to curl back off the glass? Right? See that? See how it's trying to roll differently? Now, what we've just accomplished is the release liner is facing away from us rather than towards us. So we have 2 layers of tint here, but one is for one side of the car. Okay, we can lay these up here because we can use these for our windshield strip. Again, this part's getting cut off, so this is our release liner here. The glue's facing this way. Now check this out. The glue is facing away from us. So this top pattern, this last piece of tint that I just put on here, that's going to be for the passenger side. That's for the other side of the car. That's how double cutting works. So now, when I cut this out, I'm going to make one set of cuts. We'll do everything one time, right? But I'm going to end up with a pattern for both doors. I'll end up with the passenger side and the driver's side in one go. So that's one of the easiest ways if you're hand cutting. It's one of the easiest ways to save yourself some time. Just the big problem, I shouldn't say it's a problem, but the thing to look out for is it's very easy to, if you mess this up, you mess up both patterns, not just one. And then you've also got to make sure that both of your patterns stay stuck together, because you can slide one more than the other, and if you do that, then your pattern can be like, one pattern might be short, one might be too long. And like I said, with double cutting, a lot of times if you mess up one pattern, you've actually messed up both. Like if you make a mistake, okay. So what I like to do is I like to just make sure these sides, you probably won't be able to tell on camera, but you can tell in person if one pattern is a little bit longer than the other. You can generally see that. We're just going to kind of split the difference, so we've got some room to tuck it this way, we've got some room to tuck it this way. Now we're going to anchor it down. I want to use my Fusion Hybrid here. It might be a little bit deep, but that's alright. Really, the reason I'm doing this is so when I roll this down, this top edge doesn't try to stick to the door or anything like that. Okay, so now what we need to do is just lift up our bottom edge here so it doesn't hit the door. Bump this down a little bit. I've already got my edges, my felt seals, I've already got them taped because they're felt. If they're plastic or rubber, I wouldn't worry about it, but a couple minutes that it takes us to tape those seals, it could save you from a redo. Which these seals look pretty clean. I probably could have gotten away with just wiping them off with a towel first, but this window's kind of weird because it's got this little hump in it. Might throw some people off, but go ahead and get me a couple of new blades. Just snap them off. Yeah, that one might have got nicked up a little bit, so boom. Now we're going to trim off our scrap here. This is exactly what I was talking about here. I don't know if you can see the difference. This top pattern slid more than the other. It's not by a whole lot, so it should be fine, but that's just one of those things you got to look out for. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this bottom pattern up, which again is going to be our driver's side. Round off our edges. Now for this part here, you may want to use a straight edge if you're new or inexperienced or whatever. I can generally do it without and get it pretty close. I mean, it's going to be tucked behind the seal, so no one should ever see that, but you know, when you're starting out, you might not be confident in your cutting abilities. It's one of those things that comes with time and practice. Okay, so now I want to shrink these. I don't think there's a whole lot of curve to this glass. I could probably get away without doing it, but I'm on a time crunch today. This car wasn't actually supposed to be here until tomorrow, but you know, it's not a huge deal. It's just the way the chips fell, I guess you could say. I just want to make sure that I don't have to take the time to redo it. So what can happen if you don't shrink these, any door window, you get little fingers when you install it that shoot up, and they can suck up trash with them. And when that happens, you know, you're getting a bunch of dirt and dust into your work. It's gonna look not good. And worst case scenario, it could potentially not stick. If there's too much junk down there, it just won't stick in that section and you'll have to redo it. So the one pattern is just a touch longer than the other, which is why it's like not gonna lay perfectly flat, because basically this passenger side is, you know, sucking up, not moisture, it's just sucking up air. Okay, see this? See how we got two patterns here? Check us out. Let's go ahead and mist that down. Now we're gonna go to the other side of the car. Just be a little bit careful with that, because sometimes you can actually crease the film that way if you're not careful. Check this out. Now we've got a pattern for this window. Now I'm gonna stick it over here because I'm gonna actually use the back of the car for a peel board, so I can just leave this open. It doesn't really matter. I could peel off the car, I normally do. I just want to try something a little bit different here, see how it goes. Now if we want, we could go ahead and we could re-shrink this. We could go over and, you know, shrink the other side, but I don't think these windows are really going to need it, so I think we'll be just fine with where we're at. And now we can do the same thing over here if we want. You know, we can peel it off the glass so we're not hitting the mirrors. We can, you know, we got a lot of options, but that's not the point of this video. The point is I just wanted to explain double cutting, because like I said, I've gotten some questions about it. You know, I don't want to sound rude here, but people just didn't understand what was going on. So I figured I'd take the time, show you guys. The rest of this car is just going to be the same as any other install at this point. The only thing we've done is we've cut out both of our door patterns with one go. We don't have to go around the other side of the car, stretch out our film, cut it, all that stuff. We're good to go. With that said, our scrap pieces off the top are 99.9% going to work out for a windshield strip or eyebrow or brow or whatever you want to call it. So that's all I got on this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.